Welcome to the Talent Economy Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Labbe, Chief People Officer at Toptal. I'm coming to you live from Collision in Toronto, and I'm excited to welcome my guest, Laura Heisman, Chief Marketing Officer from VMware. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you very much.
So can you briefly tell our listeners about VMware and its role in the technology industry?
Absolutely. So everybody essentially uses VMware in one way or another. They may not know it, but known for revolutionizing virtualization software. And you fast forward today in the world of digital transformation, and customers and companies are dealing with this huge issue around multi-clouds. They didn't know it, but their companies were investing in multiple clouds and running off of multiple clouds. And we're helping them solve what we call cloud chaos.
So during your roundtable discussion here on creating a community at CIS, you mentioned that AI is an accelerant of human potential. I have not heard that before.
Yes.
Can you expand on this and what that means?
Yes, absolutely. I had the opportunity to lead off the Corporate Innovation Summit this week. And then we furthered the discussion in roundtables, and we're all talking about AI and ML and generative AI. Behind all of it is people. And it's the human potential behind people. And this has been years of innovation of how it works. It is the people that are helping with our next phase of innovation. And so the human potential, what we're putting into AI, what we're even adding into the languages today, that's all the people. It's the human potential that we bring to it. And so while it is about the accelerant of innovation, it's also giving us a new opportunity to accelerate ourselves.
So if humans are going and creating AI, is it replacing humans for things? If humans are creating the AI, are they replacing themselves?
It's changing. And let me give you an example. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were discussing their support organization. And they're bringing in a generative AI platform to be able to help solve support issues much faster. So you could look at and say it's replacing jobs, but it's not. Because what's happening, as they said, is their support team instead is becoming prompt experts. Because with generative AI, if you've touched ChatGPT or any of the tools, it's the importance of what you're actually putting into it. And then it's the value of what you're getting out of it. And so the roles are just changing.
Right.
I also talk about it, the fact that it's not just roles are changing, but it's giving people an opportunity to not start from a blank page anymore.
Right.
If you are one that is scared by a blank page or don't know where to start, or you're given an assignment or a job or a task and it's new to you or you don't know what to do, it gives you ideas. It doesn't mean use every word of it.
Right.
And you definitely have to watch with what comes back to you. And there is a lot of jargon that gets repeated back to you. But it's not a blank page.
Right. So another key point from your roundtable was that marketing to developers doesn't work, but creating a community does. So could you elaborate on how VMware creates and fosters the sense of community?
Yeah. So community is super important as far as really, it's different than customers. Community is about that value that you have with customers, people that are really loyal to your business. And so this is about building a sense of continuing that loyalty. And it's not about selling your product. It's not about going to your community and saying, these are the products I have and these are the reasons why you need them. It's helping developers. It's helping if your audience is enterprise buyers. It's helping them see the value that you can help them with in solving whatever it is they're trying to do. And that's very different than a sales pitch or a specific product pitch. It is getting your community involved with you, active with you, speaking on your behalf, giving you feedback. It's not always all unicorns and rainbows. It is good, honest feedback because you have that community together. And then communities build upon communities. I mean, you think about a business, think about ERGs, enterprise or employee resource groups, right? That's a community within a business, and people find common value, common interests as well that then help a business and help people have a sense of belonging.
Yeah. I mean, we're a fully remote, Toptal's a fully remote company, and we've always have been for almost 13 years. And so we rely on these local communities and our
Yep.
talent network. So we also really value that sense of community.
Yeah.
Because you need to find people who have like interests, live close, can really bond together.
Yes.
So,
Yes. And in person's coming back more and more.
yes.
So people talk about the value of in person and seeing each other again, which is really important to be able to do. And then there's great online communities as well.
Absolutely.
And when you're fully remote or you're a global community, you've got to rely on all the tools
Yep.
that you can do to be able to have that sense together.
Yeah. How do the three core principles that you focus on, communication, human potential, and community, tie into VMware's overall strategy? And why do you believe others should adopt to these?
Yes. So let me talk about each one of them. So communication, often what people say is, I know I need to communicate, but it's number 11 on my list of top 10 things I need to do. And when I talk about communication, I do not mean about somebody's role. I mean just the value of communication, because there's so much going on in our heads every single day that we don't get a chance to share it. And so we need to prioritize sharing information. It's how we help our teams. It's how we help our business. It's how we help to spread the word. It helps with marketing, all of that. So that's the first. The second is human potential. We talked a little bit about it. Finding that human potential, not just the human capital that someone has, what their past jobs have been, their resumes, their experiences, but what they can actually achieve for the future and what they're interested in and bringing out the best in our teams. And I'm a big believer in people and finding the best and helping to mentor and motivate. So human potential is absolutely important. And then the third is community, which we talked about. Building community is really building loyalty. And so at VMware, all of that I bring into my role as Chief Marketing Officer, and I bring to the business to be able to communicate to others what it is we're doing, how we're helping the business, how we're helping build our teams, and how it is that we're building a sense of community internally and externally.
Yeah, as a Chief People Officer, I completely relate to that. So, it's a focus on you have good talent and maybe they want to do something new and really not letting them leave the company, but building on their skill set or offering them something new. So
yeah, I have this incredible story right now that's happening. I have a team of marketers that took it upon themselves to build the Marketing AI Council at VMware.
Wow.
Didn't know it. And after probably a couple of months, I mean, this is all happening super fast. So a couple of months seems like the very beginning. It was probably about 2 months. They came to me and asked me to be the executive sponsor. And I said, of course, because I'm very interested in staying up to speed and ahead on what's happening with generative AI. But what I think about is they did this themselves. And it was their potential.
Self-motivated.
Completely. And they built this council. Now everybody within marketing wants to be part of it, wants to get informed and educated by them. They're presenting to my leadership team on things that they wouldn't have before. Wow. So it's given them new opportunities. I mean, talk about potential. It's huge. And they're actually here at Collision this week because we went, Gen AI is going to be everywhere at Collision. So let's bring in a part of the team to be able to come, learn, and then educate the rest of the team on everything that's happening here, because this is the future innovation right here in this conference.
That's a great success story.
Yeah.
And something that they just felt the company would support, that they had the collaboration to do on their own. So
yeah,
that's awesome. So VMware believes in the power of asking the question, how can I help? So this not only applies to customers, but also internal teams. Does VMware utilize this question to attract and retain employees, or how do you recruit for that?
Right. So how can I help is really the essence of it's all about our customers. And then internally, it's all about our employees. So there's always that, what can I do? How can I put the customer first? How can I put the employee as a top priority? And as far as retaining and attracting talent, what we have seen is not even just how can I help, it goes back to the human potential. It goes back to what is it that our future candidates, what is it that they can achieve? So again, not what's their all of their just past experiences, because that's what we tend to do. We tend to say we want people that have 10 years of experience, that have had this type of quality that they have, the qualifications, and then people that believe that they meet that criteria, that's who applies. Instead of saying, we want someone that can help us raise the bar to do X, Y, Z, and come tell us how you can do it. And so it's transformed more into a conversation about the value they can bring. And it's changed the number of people that apply for roles, the diversity of the people that apply for roles. And it's really opened up doors for us with people so we can see their human potential getting back to it beyond just their list of check marks of, yes, I've done this, this, and this.
Yes. I mean, I've trained our recruiters to not just look at a resume and say, nope, doesn't fit A, B, C, D, and pass. It's like, really, what other skills do they have? How could it transform into something new? And really, creating roles for people that it's not just, this is the job, it's this who has to fill it, but being creative and look at absolutely people for their potential. We do that all the time, so I can completely relate to that.
That's great.
So in the rapidly evolving field of marketing, staying updated with the latest trends and technologies is clearly essential. How do you personally stay informed, and how do you encourage continuous learning and professional growth among your team members?
So we're at a perfect time right now where we talk about generative AI. And if I don't invest in learning about it myself, we as a marketing organization cannot be on the leading edge. So it is taking the time, just like I talked a little bit about communication and it falls below the top 10 priorities, same thing when investing in our own education.
Yeah.
So I make that time. I sit on calls. I will do everything I can to be able to hear what other people are doing. I join other CMO councils, so I know what other marketing leaders are doing. And then what I have told my team and asked of them is said, do everything you can to also invest in yourself. We are at a game-changing moment right now. And if you don't invest in your own career, you are going to become an outdated marketer, because this is a time, there's been a few and far between at these moments that it really will make a difference on who you become as a marketer. So we do enablement sessions for all of our marketing team, bring in speakers, bring in topics, so that we're educating people. It's all optional, but it's got a really big attendance. And like I said, we have people here this week, huge encouragement to everybody to be able to invest in themselves, because their skills, that's what's going to make them great for VMware, and that's going to make them great for their future careers too.
Right. And that's good. Usually training budget is the first thing to get cut when you are looking at things, and so really that investment.
We're at a lucky point maybe right now too that this topic is so huge, and I use it as an example, but there is so much available out there, from just doing a search online or asking a ChatGPT for recommendations to LinkedIn Learning and like places like this, right? So there's so much available to people just for free even right now.
Yeah. Well, this has been a great conversation. I have one last question for you.
Yes.
What has been your proudest moment as a leader?
My proudest moment, so two things. Maybe I can't just do one.
You can pick two.
Two things. One is really helping to elevate the brand of some amazing technology companies. I'm very, very proud of that work. And then the second thing is about the people. I'm very, very motivated by the success of people and seeing them build their careers. So seeing my own team members throughout the years, all the companies, and what they've been able to aspire to become and be able to help support their career paths, that's really important to me. And I'm really proud of seeing what they've all done with their career paths as well.
That's great. Well, Laura Heisman, CMO of VMware, thank you so much for joining me here at Collision.
Thank you.